Now, when we're talking about the types of respiration, the second category is like the types of respiration based upon the presence or absence of oxygen. Here, there are two types of respiration, namely aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration is occurring in presence of oxygen, and that is called as aerobic respiration. So, we are aerobes, and the respiration in our body can only happen in the presence of oxygen. Aerobic respiration, here the oxygen completely oxidizes the food to carbon dioxide and water, releasing large amount of energy. Aerobic respiration, if you happen to see the chemical formula, the chemical equation here is C6H12O6 plus oxygen gives you carbon dioxide plus water and a lot of energy. Here you could see 2880 kilojoules of energy. Aerobic respiration basically is found in most animals and plants. So you can see a lot of animals here. All these animals and plants, they are showing aerobic respiration. Now, the process, it has the following phases that we need to remember. The first phase is it has external respiratory phase and it has an internal respiratory phase. Talking about the external respiratory phase, students, the external respiratory phase or external respiration is also called as breathing or ventilation. So you see over here, inhalation, belly out, exhalation, belly in. External respiration phase, in this, it is a gaseous exchange in between the respiratory organ and the outer environment. Example, the exchange of gases that is happening in between the lungs and the air. So you see inspiration and expiration, meaning inhalation and exhalation taking place. Now, let us talk about internal respiratory phase, students. So, internal respiratory phase is also called as the tissue respiration. In here, you see this is the atmosphere, this is the respiratory organ, and this is the tissue. So, you see the oxygen from the atmosphere enters into the respiratory organ, the oxygen is acquired, and then the oxygen has to pass to the tissues and the respiration takes place in there. Internal respiratory phase, it is the exchange of the oxygen of the blood and carbon dioxide of the body cells through tissue fluid at the cellular level. You could see at the cellular level the exchange is taking place. It involves cellular respiration in which the glucose is oxidized inside the mitochondria of the cell to produce water, carbon dioxide and energy. So for example, in human beings, the respiration is taking place where? It is taking place inside the mitochondria. Now let us take a look at the question. The question is, which one of the following mammalian cell is not capable of metabolizing the glucose to carbon dioxide aerobically? And the options are unstriated muscle cells, liver cells, red blood cells, or is it white blood cells? And the answer is red blood cells. Now, under anaerobic respiration, respiration occurs in absence of oxygen, students. It's called as an anaerobic respiration, different from aerobic respiration. It is also called as fermentation. Now, here there is no oxygen, okay, but definitely there is ATP. And the byproducts are different from the aerobic respiration. Here the byproducts or the products or the substances that are formed at the end of this type of a process is lactic acid. It is mostly found in bacteria, yeast, parasitic worms in which the food is partially oxidized and can be shown by the following way, as in you could see when glucose in the intestine of the worm, it reacts, it forms lactic acid and energy. Now, anaerobic respiration even takes place in certain particular body tissues of the aerobes also. Now, that must amaze you, or you might get confused. How is that possible? Yes, in the skeletal muscle fibers in the mammalian RBCs. In the skeletal muscle fibers, during vigorous exercises, glucose is metabolized into lactic acid, and the rapid formation and accumulation of the lactic acids are responsible for muscle fatigue. In mammalian RBCs, only anaerobic respiration is found because no mitochondria is found in the mammalian RBCs, and this is an important point that you must remember. See, there are 2 million red blood cells that are produced every second.